Hey everyone, Luke here, and as you can probably tell, it's a bit brighter than usual. Now that's because I was going to go and do the review, like literally like 2 minutes ago before I turned the camera on. I was going to go and do the review, then I saw like the light flickering, and then when I took it out of its light box, I couldn't get it back on at that point. So fortunately, we still had some lights left, spare lights in the up on the top of the dome to the basement, cellar, whatever. So I was able to change that right away. So this might be lighting that I've got now might actually be a lot more effective in terms of the future of my reviews. We'll see when I get into the editing part of the video. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say, because we're going to get right to the review, and oh boy, there's a bit we've got to talk about today, and but at the same time I don't feel like there will be a lot. Alright, so this will be chapter 131, titled Entrance. Obviously, this is a reference to the fact that Emma and Ray are going off to try and have a conversation with the Demon King to try and get a new promise settled in before Norman has a chance to actually write about the 5 Royal Regiment houses. And we actually do get to find out about those in this chapter, so that's kind of cool. And my predictions about who was in the royal family, it was kind of obvious, and I kind of called it in some capacity. Although there was one that actually surprised me, but didn't surprise me at the same time. But anyway, I've got to talk about the cover of Weekly Show and Jump this week, because it's quite amazing. We see Emma. I think she's actually trying to. Oh no! She's pushing something forward, and in the background we've got Musica behind her, because that's obviously on her mind right now. Like, she's got to save Musica. She's got to save Musica from the onslaught that's going to be coming in from Norman's side, and possibly the Demon side as well. And we've also got Ray on one side of her, on the right side of her, actually smiling and obviously giving his support to her. And on the left side we've got Norman with like a frown on his face, like, Emma, you know, if you're going to do this, we're going to have to fight. And obviously this could be taken in a lot of different ways, but what I like to take it is like different sides of war, and Emma's struggling conflict between them. So yeah, symbolism, I love it. And we also start off with a colour page, and this one says flying high into the sky. We see like paper dragons, and we see Emma, Ray. Do we see Ray? Yeah, we see Emma, Ray, Phil, Toma, Limey, at Norman and Musica all flying through the sky, and that's kind of I mean, I understand Ray, Norman, Emma and Musica, but why Phil, Toma and Limey? I mean, Phil, okay, to a stretch I can understand, but why Toma and Limey? Why not Dawn and Gilda? That would obviously make a lot more sense, because they were the most prominent characters throughout the first season of the anime and the first arc of the series. And that's one thing I want to talk about. I've been going back and looking at a lot of comments on people's videos about how they were surprised that Ray turned out to be Isabella's son, and I'm like, really? You really were surprised that in the anime, when it was like painfully obviously shoved down our throats that Ray was going to be Isabella's son based on what was happening? But anyway, I digress. I just wanted to talk about those two opening pages, because as we see with this chapter, there's it's a really short chapter, and I don't know whether this was because like they felt, okay, the most important thing in this chapter is to just get Emma and Ray to where they are, and then introduce the families of the demons that we actually already met in Goldie Pond. But yeah. Anyway, it's a short chapter. it's a short chapter, but it gives us a packed load of information. It's sort of like when One Piece does its short chapters, it does a lot of information. Although I can understand people's complaints because there's not because for some panels there's not really any dialogue going on, so there's not really anything to discuss. So anyway, we go into a flashback to start off the chapter properly, as we see a flashback from the perspective of Emma's group when they went to that demon town, and they actually found out where a certain method of actually getting into the world where the Demon King actually lives. And we see Emma. Yeah, I think it is Emma and Gilda. I can tell one of them is Gilda because of the glasses. But this is one of the things what I don't like about this series is that sometimes the art style can be, particularly in flashbacks, it can be so hard to make out what characters are. But I think this is actually meant to be Emma alongside Gilda, as they go on to say this. If we piece together the memorials on the ceiling and all E-towers. Before we cut back to Emma actually using the dagger to actually slit her hand, sort of like what Eren Yeager or sort of the Titans do in the Titan shifters in Attack on Titan. They'll slit the hand or slit a part of their body to draw blood, and they'll actually become the Titan. Emma sits her hand as we cut back to the flashback and them saying golden water and the moon feed her. And we see them drawing blood. So from what they're saying here is that they're drawing the blood, so, and they're actually going to put the flower in, feed the flower to actually sprout it, so they can actually transport themselves to the Demon King. Okay, so we get kind of like a little bit of information here about how sort of like the death process and how when they say these are sacrifices to the Demon King, like they'll stick their flower into the person that's being sacrificed. Their blood will sprout up the flower, and then their soul will probably be transported to the Demon King, where it can actually consume the soul. So, well, that's kind of a fate worse than death, if you ask me. As all the other kids are like watching them in awe and mystery, Dominic actually brings up, so they'll be able to go now. As Don says, yeah, we've tested it, and with this they should be able to go. As he goes on to elaborate the day and night mural on that ceiling, it showed us the procedure of how to arrive at the entrance. Everything. It's just like the murals. And as everybody is looking at them, Gilda is becoming concerned for them, and rightfully so, because it's just them. It's just them going off, and it's like, again, like I said in the last chapter, I mean, in this chapter, it doesn't do anything to elaborate on what I was saying, but I really wish others would have gone with them, because Emma and Ray by themselves cannot be these type of people. Like, they need those allies to be around them and to actually help them out in certain situations. I mean, this is exactly the same with when they went to the showtime. It was just Emma and Ray and the Mister. It could have been other people that went, and mind you, that would have been interesting of what would have happened if Dawn and Gilda had actually gone with them, and how the Goldie Pond arc would have actually that would have been interesting too, if people wanted some of the characters to actually die, if they'd actually brought them along. And that would have been interesting to find out what would have happened if Emma and Ray had brought some of the other kids along with Hugo to go to Goldie Pond, and they were captured around the same time as Emma, and then they died. That would have been a really good psychological impact on Emma's part, and also gave her more of a determination to actually hunt down Lewis. So as Emma and Ray complete the ritual and the flower starts sprouting, it sort of starts to like glow, and Violet goes on to say it'll happen any time now. And as Emma smiles, and Ray smiles to them and gives them like a sort of like inclination that they're going off, and Emma says, "Well then, we're off." And then they're like, Emma, and Gilda's just actually shot, and then in the next panel, whew, Emma and Ray are gone. It's like they weren't even there. So So my guess is that okay. So once the flower's like completely sprouted from the blood, yeah, there's like a glow, and then it's just like it enveloped by the lights and actually disappeared in front of people's eyes, or you get stabbed with the flower, it sprouts off, and then your soul is actually transported up the flower to the entrance. So like the flower itself, it could necessarily be the entrance for your soul to actually be taken from your body, transported up the flower, and then towards where the demon king actually is. And everybody is just in shock about all this, and they go on to say that it's hold on a minute, guys. Where are Emma and Ray? Where are they? They disappeared, and then we see Emma and Ray just standing in front of a door. In front of a door with symbols on it, so with demonic symbols on it. So wait a minute. Oh my god! I've only just noticed something. Okay, there's one symbol in the shape of the same horns that Luke was wearing. That the demon that Gillian killed in Goldie Pond, in case you need a reminder. It has the same sort of like style of horns wrapped around it. So Luke's related to Demon King. Who would have thought it? Oh no, I could just be reading way too much into that right now. But yeah, you have like this triangle symbol with like sort of like an eyeball in the center. Obviously referencing the fact that the eyeball is like at the center of the demon's face, and if you shoot that, then the demon's eye, like, that's connected to their brain. So as Emma and Ray are standing in front of this door, Emma says everyone really did vanish, and Ray says, yeah, we're back at this place again. And then we see that they have actually done this ritual before. Like, this is why Don was able to explain to Dominic how the process actually works, and how he says, yeah, we have done this before. And again, why didn't they go with them? That's a legitimate question. Like, why didn't Emma's group that she had the last time actually go with them and be like, Emma, we are coming with you. We have done this before. We've got other kids that can actually look after these kids here. We can come with you. So yeah, that's kind of like, that's kind of the disappointing thing about this chapter as well. It's the fact that Emma and Ray just didn't bring anybody else along with them. But anyway, what can you do? As Emma is looking on door and trying to figure out the symbol, it's just like there's one door. Which is confusing until you actually read what Don actually says in the flashback. Hey, I can read these characters, but why? Even though I've never seen them before. And then he just gets cut off as Emma continues to say, if you continues to like actually read what's inscribed on the door. So my theory is, in the sense of why they're actually able to read that, is that once they sacrifice their blood to the actual demon to actually get into the ritual, like, they can actually translate, like their bodies are sort of like infused and compensate for the actual one. Like, they can actually read based on the fact that they've given their blood to the demon to actually get to this entrance, so they can actually read what is actually being said. At least that's just a theory I can go off here, because it just gives us nothing else as well. So that's my theory, is that once you sacrifice some of your DNA, you actually bonded to this world, so you actually bonded to like this dimension, so you can actually read what is in this dimension. But anyway, continuing on, Emma says, if you continue past this point, you will not be able to turn back. If you wish to turn back, you must open this door from the opposite side. Okay, so you probably have to go to meet the Demon King, and then actually get back, and then actually to get back you actually have to go past them, so you actually have to pass the Demon King in order to get back to your land. Again, I really wish others had gone with them and it wasn't just Emma and Ray in this. I mean, I understand they're the main characters, but you have Dawn, you have other major characters in this, like Dawn, Gilda, and Oliver, so like they're and Zach, and basically people that we've had a lot of focus on, even if it's just been sprinkled throughout, we still had a lot of focus on them. So I really wish that they would have brought in some more of those people like them right at this point in time. But anyway, going on, Emma says, "Welcome to the entrance," and Ray is getting a lot of concern as we flash back to see them saying, "Now come here for real next time from the entrance." As they go, as Ray or Emma, no, as Emma thinks and says, "This is the entrance." The Demon King lies past this point, and I really can't pronounce that. Like where the like ancient demon text that's just sprinkled like. So I'm just like calling him the Demon King. Anyway, the 6 murals on the ceiling. The fifth mural was pitch black. In other words, we don't know what we'll find when we go to the day and night, right? This is just fine. Bring it on. And you just see like the determined look on Emma's face, like showing at this point she doesn't care what challenge lies ahead. She needs to make this promise, because otherwise there's going to be mass panic and chaos throughout the whole world, and a lot of innocent people are going to die, demons and humans alike. Emma continues on and thinks to herself and states, "When we came before, we turned back from here. This time we'll continue on," as Ray says to her, "Let's go." And they start to open the door, and Emma goes, "Wait for us, Norman, Phil, everyone." Again, you could have brought more people with you, Emma, but that's just my work. That's just my fantasy in an alternate reality. I mean, wow, me being really pissed off about the Promised Neverland. Yeah, I mean, it's an honest complaint that I can't deny. Control Chaos has basically brought it out in me, like, okay, this is a continuous problem, that there are just not that many there are too many characters, and they're not focusing on those characters when they actually have the chance. But anyway, they open the door. We just see them like shock face, basically in the same manner that Norman had when he first went to be adopted, and he was just that, and we didn't find out about that for like 50 or so chapters. But anyway, that's the last we see of Emma and Ray this chapter, as we cut over to the royal capital of the demons. And this is the point of the chapter I was really looking forward to, because we actually get to meet the demon family. So we have these five demons here, which are obviously the 5 royal houses. So we actually do get, so that's really interesting that we actually do get to do that. As we see one demon who has his hands behind his back, like he's dead center, and he has the horns. I'm just gonna lay out, this is Bayon's son. This is Bayon's son here. The one in the centre that's just got his hands like basically standing to attention like that. That's Bayon's son, Lord Bayon's son. And Bayon, it's actually revealed that that's actually their last name. So he goes, "Stand, Dozer, you're being disrespectful." As we see one demon standing not standing, actually sing to the left of him, like just basically lounging out, being like, and this is Luke's father, and you can tell it's Luke's father because they've got the same style of horns, and just how their personalities are, like they're just like, I'm gonna do what I want. I don't care. I don't care if I'm being disrespected. I'm gonna do what I want. Kind of vibe for them. So yeah, it's and I don't know what relation the other two, like on the far sides, have to any of the other demons, because we actually find out in this chapter the family of Lewis, and it makes perfect sense as well, because Lewis was the main antagonist of the Goldie Ponarch, and his family is possibly going to be one of the final antagonists of the series, and that's kind of interesting. I mean, obviously we've got to deal with Peter, possibly Norman, and the mother, and the mothers in the farm, and like grandmother. Possibly we've got to deal with grandmother at some point. We have to. That has to be. I swear to God, if that's not addressed in this series, I'm going to be mightily pissed off. Especially since I did that whole video like about 2 years ago on what grandmother could potentially be. But anyway, the one standing right on the right next to Bayon, is the shorter one, and she's actually related to Noma and Nomes, and it's actually confirmed that Noma and Nomes, they were actually siblings. It was a little bit of debate in that whether they were actually siblings or not, because they was like my dear sweet Noma, but no, they're actually siblings. We get the little caption card for Dozer, as he says, 5 Regiment Houses, Lord Dozer, and he's just there like, really? Really, you're being like this? And he goes on to say, he'll be fine. When we see Her Majesty, all of us will have to kneel anyway. So, wow, that's actually a good comeback on his part, because it's actually true, because what's the point of him standing up if he's just going to kneel anyway? I actually do like this statement. More so than his son. I actually really do like this demon, because unlike his son, he's not being a petulant child. He's just like this guy that's like, I'm old, I'm tired, can I just do what I want? But anyway, he continues on, Bayon continues on and says, this is what happens when those of lower birth are able to rise up. As he goes, Dozer goes on to say, geez, you're just as stiff as your father, Bayon. So yeah, he actually confirms that this is Bayon's son, and it says 5 Regiment House is the current Lord Bayon, so he actually confirms that Bayon is their last name. I would really like to have known what their first name was, like something Bayon, or I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking to find out about characters that we had established early on, but even though they're dead, we're still finding out more about them, like here with the 5 Royal House. So no, Lewis is still in debate. That's what I'm going to say. Lewis is still in debate. Anyway, continuing on, they say one of the demon on one of the far sides actually goes on, and his name is actually Lord Pupo. I'm sorry. That is, I apologise, guys, but Pupo. Sorry, that is just okay. Professional. Lord Pupo. Okay, I can't say it without cracking up. But anyway, Lord Pupo goes on to say, it's been over a year and a half since your predecessor passed. I also heard that Her Majesty's younger brother Lewis. The queen of the demons, like the person who's actually in charge, is related to Lewis, and that makes a lot of sense, since Lewis was the main antagonist of the Goldie Pond arc, and he was much more, and he was a lot more intelligent than the others to a certain extent, and he seemed like the leader, despite Lord Bear actually being a lord. I don't know. I am not caught up in like royal regiments, but I assume like an archduke is lower than a lord. That's why I'm bringing up this whole like issue of like Lewis being the main antagonist by only being an archduke. But anyway, it makes sense that his sister is the queen, because he seemed like a lot more intelligent, a lot more cunning, and actually seemed like a much more better strategist than the others were. Based on the fact that his fight took the longest out of all of them, and it wasn't a walk in the park for them, and it took everything they had to actually take him down. But anyway, continuing on, they go on to say that they've also heard talks that Her Majesty's younger brother Lewis hasn't been able to contact either, and Dozer goes on to say, and my own Luke too. We also don't know the whereabouts of those Noos and Nomu siblings from the Noma family. As we see the shorter one is actually related to them, as it goes 5 regiment houses, Lord Nomu, like maybe their mother or father, I don't know. But anyway, they have an interesting sign. They have their eye is like a diamond with liquid flowing around in it. So that's kind of it. That's kind of an interesting eye. And also they have sort of like a mohawk style hair, like in feathers. No, not in feathers. It's sort of like those those sticks that they use to like kill people so that they can extract their blood for the feeder flowers or something like that. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Kind of an interesting. Probably my favorite design out of all of these demons. Probably my favorite. So yeah, I'm really glad that they're actually bringing up or bringing up this of the fact that it's strange how they haven't been in contact for over a year and a half. All of them, all at the same time, all disappeared. And they wonder if it's strange that they disappeared all lined up together. Could it really just be a coincidence? And it's like, no, it's not a coincidence. You have enemies out there that are going to try to kill you, and it's going to be all balls out. Whoever wins in the end. I just don't. No, not Doza. As the other demon on the other side of on the other far side of the group starts to speak up. He says, "Hey, Bayon, what did you wish to say?" As they go on to say, "What? Well, your father was," and we get, "Shut up!" Like, just in big bold writing, "Shut up! I can't bear you prattle. Be quiet for a bit, Doza." As they all fall silent. Okay, so this one seems to be like more of like the stern biter, but it's like, "Shut up! I can't bear to stand all of this. We're just waiting for our queen yet. Can we just stand here in silence?" And Doza's like, "Huh? Listen here, lass. Cease this." As one of the demon goes, "Be careful of your words, Lord Doza. Your Majesty is here." And then everybody is just like, "What? Okay. Kneel." And then we get the door opening, and we get the demon queen actually coming up behind them, sitting on her throne. As the caption goes, "Those who had power in this world, and those who hold power in this world," and it just cuts it off. And we see the final bit of the chapter where we see basically "Raise your hands," and we see a smile from the queen as we get the name of the queen, Queen Regula Falima. That's kind of just rolls off your tongue, Falima, and that's where the chapter ends. So, like I said, it's a short chapter. There wasn't really much to go off here. This will probably be one of the shortest chapters I've had to do in a while. But yeah, I really like the designs of these demons, and it's really nice to actually get some world building, actually get some character building as well, as we find out about characters that have recently been deceased, and we actually find out more about them. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. I also love the design of Lewis's sister. And also these two other demons that are on the side, basically no, not one. We have one finger, just going over the queen's shoulder. Okay, so so this is probably a coronation. This is probably like a coronation going on, because we see like this one figure, and we see like this nail descending, sort of like a sword. So it's like, and it's going over the shoulder. So it's sort of like that. Raise your heads, Queen Regina Farlia. I am not going to be able to pronounce her name at all. It's too long and complicated. Why couldn't it have just been like Lewis? Why couldn't it have been something like Queen Charlotte or something like that? Something like that. That's kind of interesting. That would be kind of all right. But anyway, so we see these two other demons on her other side, which kind of like her bodyguards, but they have the same mask as her. So maybe families that are related have similar looking masks, or something similar to like actually identify them. Like the horns are the same, or the mask is the same. I don't know, but anyway, they have the same masks as her, so they're probably related as well. They're probably tied to her clan. Maybe this is not her first name. Not her first name, and it's just like her last name, and maybe we'll find out her first name in the next chapter. So it might just be her first name. But anyway, I don't know. And I really like her robes. Like, it's got there's like a lot of detail that you could come up with, like her dress, like sort of long extends. Like it actually extends. It actually extends down from the stairs, from the throne, from the stairs down onto the floor, and it's just so long, and so well detailed. I really like the detail that goes into like her hair as well. Her hair as well. Like it's detailed into like I've got this big crown that's crown of hair. Just like the plaits that are detailed around it, and just like the different colours and vibes. It's just such a well designed on her part, and we have like a sun emblem on her belt, which might be actually be important later on. And yeah, that's all I've got to say on this chapter. Now, now I really want to find out what's going to happen if and when she actually meets Emma. Although I'm pretty sure it's set in stone that she's actually going to meet Emma at some point, and it'll be interesting to see what she actually makes of her, and how she was the one that killed her brother, and whether she's just going to be just as difficult to take down as her brother was. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say on the chapter. It was a short chapter, but we got a lot of information out of it, particularly from the side of the demons, which provides so much more to find out about them, about how their families are actually structured and everything. And we got hints their personality, yeah, like Dozer's personality is just like the more I'm tired, I'm bored, can I just do my own thing? And then we get like the Noma demon, like just like the more stern by the book type of demon who's just fed up with the others. Bayon's personality is pretty much the same as his father's, and I really like how they're like actually discussing events that have actually played out in the past, and they're not just being forgotten about. Like they're actually being brought up and being relevant to this arc. And that's what I've loved most about this arc, is that, again, like I said in previous videos, a lot of the events of previous arcs are actually being brought into the forefront and actually being addressed at this point. So yeah, that's all I really wanted. That's really all I wanted to say on this chapter. What did you guys think? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz, and whether or not Emma and Lewis's sister are actually going to Queen Regina Farlima actually going to be at some point sort of like an Alice in Wonderland type thing, where you have the Alice and the Queen of Hearts, and how the Queen of Hearts is just like this bratty person who's just like off of her head, and all of that. That'll be interesting to see. So yeah, this will be Lash Luke signing off. Later, guys.